With News 5 tonight, Singapore's opposition Workers' Party has released its own paper on the country's population, just 2 weeks after Parliament endorsed a report charting the government's strategies to mitigate an ageing and shrinking population. The Workers' Party makes the case for a population projection of about 5.8 million by 2030. All that is down from the 6.9 million in the government's white paper.
The recent debate on population issues was one of the most passionate seen in Parliament, with MPs from both the ruling and opposition parties raising concerns over issues such as overcrowding, the Singapore identity and quality of life. In coming up with its own 38-page proposal, Workers' Party Secretary-General Lau Tia Kiang said his party believes it's important to encourage further debate so that Singaporeans can make informed judgments on the population issue. At the heart of the paper, improving Singapore's total fertility rate, or TFR, and labour force participation rate, instead of what the party describes as immigration-driven growth.
So why do we emphasise a 1% local workforce growth? Is that because we want to look internally to see whether we can achieve that target, and only in circumstances where we believe that it cannot be reached, then that's where we do factor in population top-up from foreign workers.
The report fleshes out 3 scenarios to explain how its total population projection of between 5.6 and 5.8 million is arrived at, based on the following assumptions: that 10,000 new citizens are taken in every year. The non-resident population is capped at current numbers, that is 1.5 million, and the resident workforce growth is 1% annually. The proposal to cap the foreign worker numbers here at current levels have met with swift rebuttals from some business groups already struggling with labour costs.
If you look closely at the population numbers, you'll find that actually for the next few years, there is already a natural increase in local workforce entering the market, because we have more young people entering the workforce than there are older people retiring. The problem only comes a few years down the road when we have more people retiring.
So the party proposes help for businesses such as lower rentals, utilities and capital costs. The party also proposes what it calls structural reforms to improve the TFR, such as making it mandatory for companies to offer work-life balance initiatives and incentivizing them to do so.
I think when you look at the Workers' Party's position, as articulated in their population paper, it is clear that they have taken on board, the concerns of Singaporeans, and so I think in that sense, it will certainly go down well with Singaporeans. But as I mentioned earlier, the key question is, are the plans really viable? Will they actually enable Singapore to continue to be a very attractive place, not just for talented people, who may want to become citizens, but also for Singaporeans.
Now, because of its long-term implications, the government has said that the conversation must go on, even though the population paper and land use plan has been endorsed. Now, in fact, the Our Singapore Conversation Committee, tasked with getting Singaporeans to come to a consensus about the kind of future they want for this country, is expected to roll out a series of dialogue sessions to discuss this very topic.